Hello and welcome to this tutorial on Diigo. D-I-I-G-O. There is the URL. And the instructional strategy that we're going to talk about in using this tool is problem solving or critical thinking. This is great for storing research. Specifically, if you wanted to do a group or collaborative type of a project, because you have the ability to share and have multiple people use the same item. But it's a good way at the very least to have students put together information along the way during a research project and then to go back and use it to create as kind of like the repository before they create their final project, whatever that final project is going to look like. So again, there's the website, and you need to sign up first. It's a free account, and then sign in. So the sign up area, if that's what you needed to do. You can also use these various other types of apps and sign up that way. So you need to first choose a username, so something that you can remember. It'll tell you if it's available or not. And then put in an email address for communication. This allows you to store any of these Diigos that you have created. So I'm going to hit continue. And assuming that all of my information has not been taken by other people, I am good to go. So at this point, I'm going to skip the welcome. You can walk through that if you'd like. And so I have now been activated. So the best way to do this is to start with creating a group. So I'm going to go right here where it says creating a group, and we're going to get started. But before we actually do something, let's talk about where you might want to use this and what are some of the benefits of using a tool like this. It's great for Bloom's Level 4 or above, where students are going to be analyzing. It's great for the affective learning aspect or taxonomy, because it allows students to then make a reflective judgment as either part of their paper or final project, or just making a judgment on what exactly are they going to put into their group list or the information regarding Hello and welcome to this tutorial on the app Diigo. www.diigo.com, that's the URL, to get access to this particular tool. The instructional strategy we're going to talk about for using this tool is problem solving and or critical thinking. This is a great tool for storing items that are found for a research project. You're gathering everything together, putting it all in one spot. You can analyze it later. It allows you to digitally highlight. You can share this with other people. It's great for a collaborative or a group team type of a project, because you can have multiple collaborators working on this at one time. You can put images in here. You can put text in here. You can put websites in here. Works a lot like Symbaloo, but as you know, if you've watched a number of these tutorials, they're all a little bit different and they all exist for different reasons. So you need to find out what works best for you. So at this particular point, you need to sign up if you don't have an account already. I already do, so I'm going to click on sign in. You do have the ability to sign up and sign in with some of these other other technologies. So I'm going to go ahead and sign into my account. There we go. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about why you might want to use a tool like this. This particular tool and this strategy that we're talking about would be for items that are Bloom's Taxonomy Level 4 or above, so analysis level or above, because you're going to be able to do some analyzing and some critical thinking. It allows you to tap into the affective taxonomy, the affective learning taxonomy, because students have the ability to do reflective judgments in here as they determine what exactly, after gathering a whole bunch of data, what exactly is going to make the final cut in the particular project and the deliverable that they're going to have. Students have the ability to learn from one another. The teacher generally would start this type of activity with a demonstration. Maybe he would either approve the topic of maybe a research paper, and then they would act as a guide the rest of the way, so it becomes student-centered, as they're the ones who construct the knowledge, they're the ones who filter the information, and they actually learn because they're doing rather than just watching. So it allows them to do some investigation, some communication, collaboration. Again, it's good for group work. And it allows the students to practice some deductive reasoning as they continue to work toward being a self-directed learner. So all kinds of good things there. So there's a number of different ways that you can use this. The easiest way is to go up to this area here where it says My Groups and click on My Groups. Now if you had a whole bunch of groups here, they would show. But you're generally, when you get started, you're not actually going to have that. There's already a bunch of groups that you may want to join down here, and keep an eye on what people might be doing already out there in DIGOs, and see what other folks have created. So you're going to go over here to where it says create a new group. And at this particular point, the group can be, maybe it's related to 101 class, and maybe it's your last name, and it might be a project type of a thing. So maybe it's, org chart or whatever it is, or stress in the workplace. Maybe this is the subject. You give it a name. That's going to be a place where you're going to continuously identify research items for this particular project. You can give it a description here if you'd like. You have the ability to categorize this, so in case people are searching and you want to allow people to search, they can actually find things by the category. You don't have to do that. Public, anyone can view, or private, only group members can view. List this group in the search results, do not, that type of thing. And then you have to show that you are not a machine once you create this group. So they give you this little code. This code is going to be different all the time. So you have to type in this code to show that you are a real, live, breathing person, and say create my group. So we now have the group is created. We can invite people to this particular group. And again, the only time you may have to invite somebody might be your teacher. So the teacher could require all students to invite them by popping an email address in there. But if this is one of those situations where you want them to work as a collaborative group, they would then enter the email addresses of all of the students. I'm going to put a personal email address in here. And you can put as many as you want. You just separate them by commas. You can invite them from your email contact list, or if multiple people, whether it's fellow students or other folks that you know, they already have DIGO accounts, you can actually search right through there. It kind of works on a friends type of a concept, so that these would be people that would already be listed as your DIGO friends. So once you have that all set, you are going to invite these people. What will happen is they will get an invitation in an email that will have the link directly to this DIGO, so they could actually go right to this Management 101 information. So at that particular point, we have that piece. If we wanted to invite some more folks, we could invite some more folks. If we're good, we're just going to go back to our group. So at this particular point, we don't have anything in here, but we do have this particular group. Okay, so let's start adding some content to the group that we just created. And one of the first things that you want to do is load a URL tool. So if we go down to your particular username that you created, hit this little arrow, we're going to scroll down to Tools. And there's a bunch of bookmarklets, various types of web extensions and so forth. You can practice with all these particular things. You can check them all out to determine what you're going to do. If you're going to be using an iPad for this, you might want to try some of these other ones. Mobile DIGO browser for iOS devices, for Android, Quick Notes on Macs, what have you. This DIGOlet is the recommended one. This is the one that I've played with. It's real easy to use. So you're going to want to actually use this when there's a tutorial on how to use it. But basically very simple. You're just going to drag this little Digio button to your bookmarks toolbar. And I'm just going to slide it in there into any particular spot you want to deal with that. And so we were good. So I'm going to go back to my groups at this particular point. And notice now that Digolet is actually right here. And so as I locate something that I want to put in, it makes it real easy for me to enter that. So let's say I'm going to do some searching. Wherever I feel like I want to search this. You can search it through a research guide, you can search it through a library database, Google. So here's a particular site, it's a nice little graphic here, and maybe this is something I feel like I want to keep because it's going to have some information for me that I need when I actually get to going to work on my final deliverable, whether it's a paper or a presentation or what have you. So all I have to do, if this is something I want, I just have to hit the Digolet right here, and I have to depend on what I want to do. I can create a bookmark, which is probably what I'm going to want to do with this one, but I also have the ability to highlight selected text. So it defaults to yellow. I can actually say I want to highlight, and see I have this little highlighter pen here, and I can click and drag and hold down, and let's say that's as far as I want to go, and there we go. If I don't want to do any more highlighting, I just go back and take it off. Currently, as you can see, my pencil, it is still on. So that means I am on the highlight mode. Let's say I'm done. Let's say I want to bookmark this thing. So I'm going to bookmark it, is put together the link and the title and so forth. Again, private is only people that I share the link with, or public. I can actually just uncheck that if that's what I want to do. Then I go down here and it says share to a group. And I go into the particular group. In this case, this is the one I want because it's referring to my course, me, and this particular project that we're working on here. So that's the one I check, and I say save bookmark. Okay, so let me get rid of this. Whoops. Sorry, I closed out of everything there. So we're going to get back to Digo and my groups. And now we see that it's been changed. One new or updated item is in there. And so I have this particular link is actually right here. So I can click on it and I can pull up this entire document. Now you might say, well, wait a minute, didn't you highlight something? Didn't you highlight something up in this first paragraph? In order to pull out a highlight, you have to actually go back up here to Digolet and pull that information up. Whoops. There we go. You just have to click on it, and then if I put a highlight on here, or if I put a sticky note, I could actually, put a sticky note. It's a little floating note over here. This is interesting. Save for later, or whatever I want to put on here. Again, I have all my possible ways of marking it. Private. I'm going to actually want to make sure that that sticky note goes to this particular course or group versus another project that I may be working on, and then say post. Okay, and then right up here is this little sticky item. Whoops, I don't want another one. But right up here I have this thing, and again, if I just went back to this site later, I wouldn't see that, just like I didn't originally see this right here, and I'd have to click on sticky note, and then my sticky note would pop up. If I had more than one sticky note, it would pop up once I went in and released it by hitting sticky note. So this was just an idea of a way that as you do research, as you gather information, whether it's images, so any type of file, folder, journal, article, website, picture, what have you, you have the ability to bookmark it, then you can highlight it or put a sticky note with it, and then you can access it later. So let's talk about the last thing, and that is other people. How are they going to get access to my stuff? Well, if I go over here to share and hit this drop down area, I can tweet it, I can send it to my Facebook folks. Get that out of the way, I have the ability to send it in an email. Now again, if we set up the people ahead of time, that were part of this group, whether it was our instructor or whether it was other students that are in our group, then they're already going to have access to this. But now that things are done, I can actually send an email. I can also get the annotated link. And there you go. And you just highlight that, do a copy and paste into whatever you want to do, and you're good to go. So hopefully this provides you some information and a way to use Diigo to store and analyze some research information that you put together, get it all together in one spot so you can very effectively work your way through it as you complete the final part of the project, whether it's a paper or a presentation, and this will help you organize your thoughts a little bit better.